very good evening to you on this beautiful Thursday evening. Although the wind is picking up, it's still quite nice and warm. I just love this weather. You do have to excuse the state of me today. I'm not feeling 100%, but that's why I decided let's start on the mat and get through the demo as quick as we can. I hope, fingers crossed, we're not going to have a problem with Facebook or YouTube today, but we see. I have updated all the different software now, so on my laptop, so it should be, everything should be fine. Right, okay, so we're gonna have I'm gonna show you how to make this beautiful V bracelet. I'm gonna pop you over to the website. I'm gonna show you all the different colorways we have in stock. Now this, I love doing these type of bracelets when we're using shaped beads, and the shaped beads do fit together so nicely that they just kind of lend themselves to kind of sort of merge with each other. Both of the V beads and the Gemduos used in this project have got like 2 holes on them, so it's really not long. They lend to kind of sit with each other, but because they got 2 holes on them, we can bind them together as units, and I just love how they can all come together. So good evening, Richa, nice to see you here. She said good evening from a sunny borough. Was wet and windy earlier. It's getting windy here, so we maybe have some rain. I think the garden really needs the rain at the moment, so I am going to share my screen. By now you know the drill. I'm going to go back to the main page of the website, totallybeads.co.uk, where you have to go to. We got so much on this website, probably about 30,000 products. Just so many. I'm going to click on jewelry making, or just hover over it, and then click on video tutorials. Hundreds of tutorials going back years, so do check out. There's I think we covered like so many different techniques now. I'm gonna click on V bracelet, which is today, and let me just get rid of this little window. And as I'm scrolling down, we have got plenty of different colors. Now there's 10% off the kits today. A kit will make you a bracelet, so do check them out on the website. So I'm gonna come back to my main screen, and I'm going to show you them as they're on the website. So the first one called Aqua Albaster, which is beautiful colorways. I just love it, like how they all sit together. The next one we have got is the Champagne Bronze. Again, very beautiful and very easy to make as well. Good evening, Jen. Good evening, Amina. Next one is the Copper Amethyst, which is this one, and I love this colorway. I love purples and sort of goldy or rose goldy colors together. I think they're just so nice. Next one is the Crystal Cloud Dream, which is this one with the crystal AB, and then you have got a hint. Oh, come on, focus on me. A hint of sort of an ivory color in there. Next one is the Golden Lava, which is this beautiful reds and pinks together. I love putting reds and pinks and bronzes together. Next one is the Gunmetal Silver. So we've got silver and we sort of a darker hematite colors in with it as well. Next one is the Hematite Blue, which is it is this one. So this is, you got hematite, come on, focus on this. The V beads are hematite, and then I put them sort of darker crystals and darker Gemduos in with it. Next one is the Olive Flax, sort of a goldy colorway with olive beads. I love this one as well. Come on, camera, focus on this. There we go. Next one is the Silver Purple. So we got silver with purple. We had amethyst with sort of a coppery goldy color, and we got silver with purple. And I have got the jet black. I missed the jet black and the jet black here. Right, okay, so let's get started. I was going to demo with the AB green, however it shows out of stock on the website, so I'm very quickly going to change my colorway to a different one to show you. Which colorway shall we do? Which is going to stand out quite well. Let's do the silver purple. That's quite nice. Or let's do the cloud. No, that will be more see-through. We do the silver purple. So V beads, they are V-shaped beads, and they have got 2 holes through them. I even pre-threaded my thread, but I won't be able to use this color. For this color we need a different one, we need a silvery color thread. I love matching the thread with all the different colors of beads. So I'm going to zoom in more. There we go. So V beads and using Gemduos. So they both have, I'll just grab another needle so I can show it to you. They both have 2 holes in them. So there's hole there, and there is another hole here. There we go, in the V beads. And then it's the same in the Gemduos as well. So we got a hole there. Oh, I pulled the wrong one out. Hole there, and there is a hole there as well. So this is how, and when we add this together, the holes are kind of match up where they are. So it's very nice and easy pattern. We're also going to be using some 4mm crystals and some size 15 seed beads for the side as decoration. So we're going to start by the clasp with our unit. And let me just quickly thread my needle. There we go. And then we can get started. So the V beads, they haven't got a front or a back to them because pretty much both sides is the same. Well, it is the same, so it doesn't matter which end you pick them up by. However, when we doing a unit, one side you have to pick it up with the pointy end, and the other side you're going to have to pick up with the concave end. Now the Gemduos, they do have a front and a back to them, so the back is more flat and the front is more domed. And what I suggest doing, what's the easiest way to kind of sort of get around it, you always pick them up the right way. Before I pick my beads up, I just pop them down on my mat and I just make a unit up. So I'm hogging the Gemduo with 2 V beads, and I'm just going to go through one, and I'm going to go through the Gemduo and the other V beads as well. And what I do like to do, and if I turn it that way, if the camera will focus on it, I kind of sort of like to turn all 3 beads, or you can check it beforehand as well, because sometimes 1 in 100 you can have where the other hole is blocked, and then once you edit it onto your bracelet, like, you have to go take it off, because sometimes you can get rid of the blockage by trying to go through with a needle or a pin, but sometimes it's a bit harder. So this is my first unit. I'm going to pop this on to my thread, and we're going to, as I said, we're going to start with the clasp. So I'm going to grab my clasp. Where's my clasp gone? I reckon it's got stuck with one of these. There we go. The magnets tend to kind of sort of play together and they merge into each other. So I'm going to go to a hole on the clasp. It doesn't matter which one you go through at this stage. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to rub this around my finger so I can suspend it. So then what I'm going to do, as I went through the hole on the clasp, I'm going to go back through all 3 of my units, all 3 of my beads, and just pull this up nice and tight. Then I'm gonna kind of sort of turn this, and I'm gonna go to the loop, the other loop on the same side, just like that. And I'm gonna pull this up. So it's kind of, my beads are getting sort of snug and close to the clasp itself. They just turned. Just have them, there we go. So there is a front and a back to the bracelet, as I said, because we have got the domed end on that Gemduo. So I really want that on the top. So I went through that loop, and then I'm going to come back through, but I'm only going to come back through the V bead itself. So I'm not going through all 3, just that one, and I'm going to pull this one tight as well. And can you see, as I'm pulling, it's pulling it to the back of, putting it sort of underneath my pattern here. I'm going to come through the loop which is closest to me, Just make sure it doesn't wrap around. There we go. And I'm gonna go back through the other loop. There's gonna be a little bit of a thread puff here, but you're not gonna see it because it's gonna be underneath your bracelet. And then I'm gonna come through the second V bead from the middle. You might have to wiggle it. Let me just let that finger go and we can wiggle it. So we are coming out of that last V bead. I'm going to pull this up nice and tight. So when I turn this around, this is going to be the back of our bracelet, but when I turn this around, our very first unit is going to sit like on the top of those loops. And from here, Carol's saying not on Facebook, I really don't know what's happening with these with this now. I definitely updated everything this time around, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. Right, it's sort of baffling me. I think I'm gonna have to I don't know, I have to figure it out somehow. Right, from here, as I'm coming out to the side of that V bead, I'm gonna pick up 6 seed beads. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go through all of my 3 beads, all of the unit, but on the other side through the free hole, which I haven't been through yet. Just like that. And I'm gonna pull this through, and this will capture the seed beads to the side. So basically, I'm covering up my thread puff, otherwise I would have like a thread showing on the side. Then I'm gonna pick up another 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm gonna come back on the first holes. Sometimes you can go through all of them at the same time. Sometimes you kind of need to pause and come up by the Gemduo. So I added my side beads. Now from here, I'm going to follow my thread path. I'm going to go through those seed beads again. And I'm going to go through all 3 of my shaped beads on my unit. And I'm going to start adding the next unit. So the best thing to do is we're going to need the crystal on one side, then we're going to need our unit, and then we're going to need the crystal on the other side. For the first few, I always suggest just to pop this down on your mat, because then you're definitely going to be picking up the right way. You don't want all of a sudden all of your Gemduos facing one way and finding an odd one which is sort of turned around. So I always pop it down on my mat. I try to put this at the top and then pop my unit underneath it, and I can just pick up a crystal. Oops, pick up a crystal, and I know this is the right way for my unit, so I'm going to skim the beads at the top and pick up another crystal. And I'm going to come through the last unit again, just like that. And I'm going to pull this up nice and tight. And we got a little knot. No. There we go. Pull it up nice and tight. And I'm going to come around. So I'm going to come through the crystal, now by accident I stitched 2 the seed beads. I didn't mean to do that, so I'm going to take my thread back. I'm going to come through the crystal, I'm going to come through my unit here, all 3 beads. And I'm going to do the same thing what I did on the first unit. I'm going to add the seed beads. So I'm picking up 6 seed beads at a time and going through the whole of the unit. Very simple, straightforward. You're either adding a unit with crystals or you're adding the seed beads onto your very last unit. And because these beads are larger, it does grow quite quickly. Pull this up nice and tight. Let me know in the chat if you've done this one before, because our Thursday night lives are be bringing back past projects. So I'm picking up my next unit. Now once you get familiar, you don't have to put your unit out. You will know how to pick them up the right way. And I'm going to come through that last unit again to bind the new one to it. There we go. Gonna come through the crystal, through my unit, and I'm adding the seed beads again. Mini thing, I have not tried this design yet. I love designs like this because it's still a stitch bracelet, but because you're working with larger beads, it grows quite quickly. So I'm adding the 6 seed beads here. And then I'm weaving my thread around. So I'm coming out the other side of my unit. There we go, and I'm adding another unit again. So it grows quite quickly. I really like the pattern it makes. I think it's really pretty. These sort of shaped beads are so great, and there is so many different shapes now for us to choose from and play together and add together. Jenny's saying, I think I made 3 of these originally and really enjoyed the project. It is a lovely make. Coming through the crystal. I'm just double checking, because the very first time as I was pulling through, I accidentally pulled my thread through the first seed bead as well, so I'm just double checking now that I haven't. There we go, and adding the seed beads again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, coming through the other side and picking up another 6, and coming back through. Running around the seed beads. And out the V bead on the other side. And I'm ready to add my next unit. And as I'm picking my beads up, I kind of sort of turning them and looking through the holes so that there is no blockage in them. And then coming through that unit again, following it my thread path through the crystal and the 3 shaped beads, and then adding the seed beads again. And I'm going, and you do this all the way down on your bracelet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then coming through from the other side. I'm gonna add one more, and then I'll show you how to do the other side. Just coming around. You don't want to go into the seed bead. So I'm going to have one more unit, and I'm going to show you how to add the clasp on this side, which is basically going to be doing what we did at the beginning, but reversing it. But it grows very quickly. I already got half a bracelet worth of it. Deborah is saying, I'm watching on YouTube from Florida. It's very hot and humid here. It is quite nice and warm in the UK as well. Some people would say it's hot. I love this weather. I really love this warm weather. But I think not everybody's used to it, and quite a lot of people can struggle when it gets very hot. But I think there might be a storm or rain coming because the wind is picking up now. The garden really needs it. 1, 2, 3, and then coming back. Right, so imagine we have done a whole 6, 7, 8 inches of this, as many as you needed for you to do a bracelet, your desired length. This is what I love about jewelry making, and when you're making your own stuff, like, you can make it to your own size. I got a sort of larger wrist, and I always struggle to buy anything because I no longer got a larger wrist. I like my bracelets loose, and sometimes I do struggle. Right, so I would be in a position to add the next unit, or I'm in a position to add the clasp. So to add the other side of the clasp, I'm going to fold my bracelet in half. I'm going to go through, I'm going to line up the side with the loop I need to go through. So I'm going to go through that loop. Then I'm going to come back through the 3 shaped beads, my unit. Sometimes you have to wiggle it a little bit to get it through. Oops, I just got caught in my bracelet, the thread. Pulling it back up, and then I'm going to go through the other loop. It doesn't matter if you go from top to bottom or bottom to top on the sides. And then I'm gonna, before I go back, I'm gonna open my bracelet up, because now they're definitely not gonna twist, so I'm gonna end up on the right side. And then I'm gonna go through just the V bead. And one more time, I'm going to stitch down in the hole which is closer to me, then come back up on the hole on the other side and go out on the V bead itself. And with that, we got the bracelet. Now it's a very small bracelet, baby bracelet, but you can make the units would be exactly the same all the way down. Now there's a couple of things you could do to strengthen your bracelet. This is sort of well enough, and you can work your ends off and you are done. If you want to strengthen it, these seed beads, and instead of going into the shaped beads, I'm gonna run through the crystal. So I'm going to run all the way down on one side and run up on the other side. That's one way to strengthen your bracelet. My daughter, she was never sort of pulling or tugging on any of my jewelry, but my son was when he was little, and since then I always sort of double crimp everything if I'm doing string or bead stringing. If I'm doing bead stitching, I always make sure I go around the clasp an extra time. And just go all the way down. And then I would come back up on the other side. And that is really there too. It's a very easy bracelet, very enjoyable, grows very quickly. Probably in about less than half an hour I could make a whole bracelet. And when I get to the end, I have got a choice to either go through the loops. So I'm going to stitch down and then stitch up again, and then go back into the seed beads. So I didn't even go into the shaped beads. Or I could have gone through the very last line of the shaped beads there. There we go. There's plenty of different colors on the website, so please do check it out. There's 10% off on it this week. They make beautiful bracelets. I just love the shape of it, and the other thing what I love about bracelets like this, and let me just run down here. Well, actually, I don't kind of sort of need to go anymore. You know, you sort of kind of get it, what you need to do. But what I love about these bracelets, let me just grab one of them, which is already made up. They're really nice and flat. So they got a beautiful texture to it and a beautiful pattern. But when you turn it sideways, it's really thin. So when you have it on your wrist, it just sits really nicely against your skin, and it's very, very comfortable. So I really do love working with these beads and sort of designing and doing things. There is so many different colors on the website. Do check them out, and I'm just going to pop them all in back in shot for you, all the different colorways. They all look great. There's a front and a back to them, but very, very easy make. I just love it. I really do love working with shaped beads. I always feel like bead stitching is my love. Out of all the techniques, bead stitching is the one, but like it's mine. I think because Natalie likes to use, you know, wire the most, and Laura likes to use chainmail a lot. Like for me, it's definitely bead stitching is my thing, but I love working with shaped beads. Right, my lovelies, I hope you enjoyed tonight, and I will see you next week on Wednesday, where what are we doing next week? I think we are doing adjustable bracelets again. So do tune in at 10 AM on Wednesday, and next Thursday night at 6 PM. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, all fingers and toes crossed, that all this YouTube and Facebook gets sorted by then. I'll see if there's another update somewhere else what I missed, but I really have updated everything now. As YouTube got out yesterday morning. Right, everybody have a beautiful week and a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye bye.